The first thing we are going to talk about is the main tag. The main tag is a semantic HTML tag that is used to divide a page or web page to a section, and it's usually the main section. That is what we mean by main. So main in this case, it is the area where we always display the most important part of our content. So that is what we are using main for. And also, we also have div tag here. It has a class attribute with value of content. And we are using h1 tag, heading tag, and this is heading tag 1, and we can have 6 of them: heading tag 1, heading tag 2, heading tag 3, heading tag 4, heading tag 5, and heading tag 6. In this case, we are using the heading tag 1, and it has an id attribute, which its value is content title. When I say id, what do I mean? For instance, let me ask you, do you know Microsoft? How many Microsoft do we have in the world? Just one. That means Microsoft is an ID that is unique to only Microsoft, right? So anytime something is unique, you use ID to represent it in HTML tag. We can only have only one content title on this in this web page because it's an ID. It has to be unique. Your fingerprint is different from mine. That is how we have it here too. And we set it to blog. That is the name of it. And we also have another HTML tag, which is section. It's a semantic HTML tag that we use to divide a page into section. You can see it suggests what it does. And it has a class attribute with value posts. So all our posts will be in this section. And within this section, we now have a div tag. The div tag has a class attribute with value of post. This div tag has post as the value of its class attribute. You can see that that one refers to just a post, right? And the section refers to all the posts we have, right? And in this post, we use the heading tag 3. Heading tag, we have h3, right? And we use it as the title of our post. This is the title of my post. You can see the text node. This is the title of my blog. And we use the p tag. The p tag is the paragraph tag. Anytime we want to divide things into paragraphs, we use the p tag. So in this case, we are using the p tag for the main content of our post, for our main post, right? And this is the text node for this tag. Text node is the text you write in an HTML tag. And we also have BR, which is break tag, right? If you want to break things to another line, you can use BR to break that thing into another line. That is why we use break here. We don't want this anchor tag to flow with the text right here. That is why we use the break tag to separate it from the text node up here. So this anchor tag has this code, and this code is to make arrow, right? So by the time you check this, you will see something like arrow. Read, you will see an arrow. We use this code to write an arrow, right? So by the time you check it, you can see it. You see an arrow on the page. That is what that code does. So we are done with that. And all we have to do now, because this is just HTML, there is no way to automate it. If you want to have many posts, all we can do is let us duplicate this and, paste it somewhere else so that we can have many posts for now. That is it. We have created the HTML content for this part. The next thing we have to do is just to use CSS to make it look awesome as we have it in the introduction. It is time to switch to CSS, and let's do that right now. The first thing we are going to do is we are selecting the main tag, right, as a tag selector, right? That is, we are using tag selector. main, right? And we set the display property of the main tag to flex to make it scalable. That is why we use flex, and we justify its content to center. That is why we write justify content center. That means we push all its content to the center. So the next thing we are doing is we are selecting the content, right, with this class attribute, right? So that is to tell you that content is inside the main tag. Any HTML tag with content class attribute will not be affected if it is not in the main tag. That is the importance of using descendant selector. That is, you may have similar HTML tag with similar attributes in different places. So if you use this kind of a thing, it will not affect others once they are not in the parent element. That is what we are doing here too. Now, we set the border radius of the content to 5 pixels so that the edge of this thing will curve a bit. That is what we do here. In this case, we set its width to 40 rem, which means we are setting it to 40% of its root element, or of the font of the root element. So rem can be used for scaling the width or the length, not just the font alone. So that is why we use it here. At the same time, we have background color. We set its background color to white as usual, and we have word wrap. Word wrap is used to break a word into two, like we do it here. We set the word wrap to break word. So let's say we have the word traditional, right? And it is at the end of the element, right? And it has to move down, right? So it can break the word into two if the word cannot contain the remaining part. So it cannot break it to something like traditional, tradition, and the now will come down and join them with hyphen. That is what this kind of thing is doing. And you can see this is an example of what it does. Break word. This is how the word will be broken with hyphen like this. So it does what it shows what it does. That's it. So, and we also have padding. We are setting the padding of this content to 100 pixels. We are setting the padding of this to 100 pixels. When I say 100 pixels, what do I mean? Pixel has to do with the size or screen of our device. So if the screen size of our phone is, let's say, 320 pixels, and we are just using padding 100 pixels, and that means we are using the pixel of the screen to calculate our length here. In this case, that we set the padding to 100 pixels, we will use 100 of the screen size. In this case, that is what padding is meant to do in this case, and that is how to use pixel. Pixel is relative to the screen size. If the screen size is 320 pixels, then you can pick 20 pixels of the 320, 100 pixels of that 320. So that will determine the size that will be given. So that is it. We also have color. As usual, color is used to set the text color. So we are setting this to something black, right? So light is a bit lighter, so it's still black. So that is what we do. This is the first time we are using ID selector here. So by using this hash, you mean you want to get an element with ID content title. So once we get it, we set its margin bottom to 40 pixels. So that is what we do with that one. And we have this post, and we select it with class attribute post. So the element that has a class attribute with post as its value will be affected here. We set its color to black, we set its font size to 20 pixels, its line height to 28 pixels, and we set its font family to Georgia, Times New Roman, Times, and Serif. So if we don't have this one, like if you don't have Georgia on our phone, our browser will look for Times New Roman. If we don't have Times New Roman, our browser will look for Times. And if we don't have this one, it will fall for anyone that is related to this one. So that is what we do here. That is what we are using this one for, we are using it to set font family, the look of our font. That is what that one does, and I have explained it before. And in this case, we are using class selector to select post. So any HTML tag that has a class attribute with post as its value will be affected here, and we are setting its margin to 20 pixel and 0 pixel. Anytime you do something like this, 20 pixel reverse to top and bottom. That is, top of that element should have margin 20 pixel, and the bottom of that element should also have 20 pixel margin, and it will have a 0 left margin, and it will have 0 margin left and 0 margin right. That is the meaning of this. So I hope you get that. In this case, post has a child known as h3. That is, h3 is inside a tag with class attributes of post. So we are selecting that h3, we are selecting the h3 that is inside of post, and we set its font family to Roboto and Sans Serif. So that means we are giving it its special font family. Why do we have to do that? It's because we have tampered with the font family of its parent, and it will inherit that font family from its parent. So we have to respecify its own font family so that it will override the font it inherits from its parent. That is why we have to do this. Although we shouldn't have added a different font family to its parent, but how will you know what I just explained if I didn't do that? So I had to do it for me to explain some things. So I have scored my point. Let's continue. We are using child selector again. When you see this greater than and p, so p is a child of this of any element that has posts as its class attribute, and we are setting its font style to italic. We set it to italic, we italize it, and its margin top to 5 pixel. We want it to have a margin top of 5 pixel. That is what we want, and we have done that. Okay, at the same time, I hope you see that this thing is changing on the screen as I have been explaining. So I don't want to be distracted with what is changing, but I want you to just get what we have here for now. So you can see that things have changed. So you can see it now. Okay. Now, in this case, we want to select an anchor tag that is inside a paragraph tag that is also inside another HTML tag that has post as its class attribute. That means we are setting the color of our anchor tag to blue, and that is what we have done. And you can see that we now have a reasonable result, something that looks good. Okay, but there is something I personally don't like here, and I want to interact with it. So, and that is the fact that there's something I actually don't like here. You may like it like that, but I don't like it because the image is in a circle and I don't want that. I want to change it. So, and I don't want it to affect the experience I have on mobile. I want the circle on my mobile version, but I don't want it on the desktop version. So what can I do now? What I want to do just to do that, this is not actually perfect, but to get the job done, that is one of the things you have to understand when you are working in the real world. Sometimes something may not be perfect, but you just want to make sure you just get the work done. So I will show you how to do these things properly. I will show you how to do these things properly in this course. So, but sometimes you just have to do something, just get things done as a beginner. So get this one done and you will learn it later. I'll show you how to do it. So what you want to do here is that what you are doing here with this media query is that when our page is displayed on a screen, that is lesser than 768 pixels. I don't want it on the desktop version. So what can I do now? What I want to do just to do that, this is not actually perfect, but to get the job done, that is one of the things you have to understand when you are working in the real world. Sometimes something may not be perfect, but you just want to make sure you just get the work done. So I will show you how to do these things properly in the course of the lessons. I will show you how to do these things properly in this course. So, but sometimes you just have to do something, just get things done as a beginner. So get this one done and you will learn it later. I'll show you how to do it. So what we want to do here is that we are selecting the tag we use to wrap the image, and we are setting its border radius to 50 pixels anytime it is displayed on a screen that is 760 pixel big and less. What we are doing here with this media query is that when our page is displayed on a screen that is lesser than 768 pixel or is exactly 768 pixel, the parent of this image will be the border radius of the wrapper of this image will be set to 50 pixel, and that means it will only be circular on mobile, and it will be something triangular on the desktop or bigger screen. That is what I want. You may like it like this and leave it like this, but for me, I like it like this. So I will need to remove the border radius from the previous one I did. So I need to remove the border radius from here so that it will only affect the screen that are less than 768 pixel or are exactly 768 pixel. So that is what we have achieved, and you can see the result now. See how it looks. You can see that this page is not looking exactly the same as what I showed you when we started. So let's quickly make it like that so that they will look exactly the same. So let's do that now. The first thing we are going to do is to add background color to the body tag so that it will be different, because the content here has a white background and the body, everything here, this one also has a white background, and white on white, you will not see the difference. You will not know where the content starts and where it ends. So that is why we have to add white background color to the body. So let's do that. Background color. Okay, so we add background color to, and we are going to use RGB. RGB means red, green, and blue. So by combining them, you can achieve different colors. So what we are doing here is that we are changing this red to 250. We are changing green to 250, and the blue here to 252. So that will give us something a bit darker than white, or something ash, so that it will be different from the white we have for the content. So when you see it now, you will realize that we can see the difference. The content starts from here and it ends here, and you can see they are different now. So that is what we want, so that the content will stand out and we can see it. So the next thing we want to do is to reposition the main a bit so that it will come up here a bit to achieve what I showed you in the beginning. So let's do that. So let's quickly do that. So we have to do it in this media query, because we only do that for a screen that is bigger than 768 pixel or is exactly 768 pixel. So for the mobile, we don't want to do that. So that is why we are using it in this media query. Okay, so let's do it quickly. We just add main content, right, to this, and what we are going to do is margin margin top, we now set margin top to minus 30 pixel. When we use minus, that means instead of pushing it down, we want to pull it up or push it up, anyhow you want to say it. So that is what we want to achieve with that. The negative will mean that we are taking it up instead of it going downward. So that is what we are achieving, and you can see, hooray, we've done that. Finally, we are at the end of this beginner level 1 part of this course. Let me breathe a bit. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.